Well, do you remember when Joe Biden told us the morning after the Francis Scott Key bridge collapse that their investigation turned up no foul play? Nothing to see here. Nothing to see. In fact, we're going to rebuild the entire bridge. We're going to do it. We're going to take care of it. Nothing to worry about. We're going to foot the bill for it. Taxpayers, we got it. Don't worry about it. Go home. Go enjoy your weekend vacation or whatever it is. Well, that just all changed this morning.
Let's just bring you a little bit of breaking news. Police in America, the FBI, have opened a criminal investigation into the Baltimore bridge collapse. This happened, of course, back in March the 26th. The Washington Post is reporting that the FBI are going to now open a criminal probe into what happened there when that tanker crashed into that bridge.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So now we know Biden was lying straight out of his mouth. Well, we have the confirmation of how big a lie that was, that the FBI announcing, in fact, that they are now going to be looking into this terrorist attack, this cyber attack on the Francis Scott Key Bridge. And we have new reports that a highly sophisticated terrorist attack brought down the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore. So the FBI opening this criminal probe into the bridge collapse. And according to the FBI, agents raided the container ship Dali early this morning, just before sunrise. And I'm quoting now the FBI. They don't usually ever release any kind of a statement, but I know that, this ship is being watched very, very closely. So people are like, why are there FBI now on board the ship? Like, what's going on here? So
you can't hide it.
Yeah, they were there.
You could say that ship has sailed.
That's right. That's very good. Yeah, I like that. It's a night of puns. So here's what the FBI had to say. The FBI is present aboard the cargo ship Dali, conducting court-authorized law enforcement activity. Okay, court-authorized. So a warrant, presumably, unless they're operating under some sort of FISA warrant, right? Who knows exactly?
Well, court-authorized could mean they subpoenaed a grand jury. If they got a grand jury to give them permission to do something like this.
Perhaps.
Right.
They say there is no other public information available and we will have no further comment on this. Okay. So I'm glad that it took just 20 days to open an investigation to what everyone with a brain knew was a cyber attack. I guess the FBI is taking a break from going door to door to people's homes, asking them about their Facebook posts, which is what they've been doing all over the country right now.
Does it really matter, though, that they are? Because can we trust them enough to know that they're actually doing an investigation and, not another cover-up of some kind? Like, it just seems like they do more cover-ups these days than actual investigations.
Well, that's the right question. But I think you forget that a lot of well-intentioned people work for the FBI. So even if they do something, that makes it to the top and then doesn't legitimately make its way to us, most FBI agents we've had on this show are good people. They try really hard to do the right thing and go by the rules. And
they're frustrated by their leaders.
Yeah, so there probably will be something, whether or not we get to see it or it is not politicized, that we don't know. But those are the right questions.
Yeah, speaking of the leaders, so you have like well-intentioned agents who are working their asses off, making no money. And then they have...
And there are a lot of well-intentioned investigators and lawyers as well that are trying to do the right thing. I think that we should not malign every government employee, right? We just,
no, of course not.
What's given to us, we don't know.
Right. But anyway, the point is that the leaders in a lot of these positions are the ones to blame. And I seem to remember the head of the FBI, Chris Wray, telling us back in January that China is targeting our major infrastructure, waterways, our bridges, our electrical grid. And he's shocked that we're not doing more about it. He was telling Congress, we need to be doing more about it. He told us this.
Well, my starting point would be that, as with most questions about the Chinese government's tactics and strategy, when one asks, is it A, B, or C, the answer is usually D, all the above. There has been far too little public focus on the fact that PRC hackers are targeting our critical infrastructure, our water treatment plants, our electrical grid, our oil and natural gas pipelines, our transportation systems, and the risk that poses to every American requires our attention now. China's hackers are positioning on American infrastructure in preparation to wreak havoc and cause real-world harm to American citizens and communities if and when China decides the time has come to strike.
So then a few weeks later, on February 21st, the Biden administration suddenly ordered this executive order. Executive order on amending regulations relating to the safeguarding of vessels, harbors, ports, waterfront facilities of the United States. So, wait a second. So about a few weeks later, after Chris Wray warns about attacks on infrastructure, waterways, ports, etc., the Biden administration sends out an executive order amending regulations. Like that quickly? Really? Okay. That was pretty fast. John Harold tweeted this and points out some connecting dots here. John Harold says, last month, Biden issued an executive order embedding CISA into the cybersecurity of our vessels, harbors, ports, and waterfront facilities. I'm sure it's just a coincidence that 1 month later, a ship appears to spaz out before crashing into a bridge, John writes.
Yeah.
So what changed then? Why CISA? What is CISA? Well, of course, CISA is the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, America's cyber defense agency. And it used to be that if something was going on with a ship or a port, well, you'd call the FBI to investigate under other port officials, right? You'd call the harbor master, you'd call the other port officials, you'd call the police, and you call the FBI to investigate this. Not anymore. Now the cybersecurity division will be embedded here as well. So CISA is now being shoved basically into everything in the United States. You are watching an agency growing like a cancer right before your eyes. We don't talk about CISA very much. Most people do. We talk to the FBI, the CIA. I mark my words, in the next few years, CISA will become one of the agencies where we're going to hear about all sorts of issues. We're going to hear it like stink on a monkey. We're going to be hearing it a lot in the coming years. Okay.
We covered it during the Twitter files, the Facebook files. We've been talking about how it's State Department run misinformation. So yes, I just want to say we're on that one. And they're big on the misinformation stuff.
Yeah.
The misinformation stuff. Just want to remind you about that and refer you to segments we did, last November. We talked about the House Judiciary Commission and how CISA was created with the sole purpose of controlling information online during the summer of 2020. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember?
I do remember. I do remember. So
there'll be a quiz later, you guys. Freaking out.
So investigative journalist Lara Logan said that within hours of this, her sources had confirmed that it was a terror cyber attack on the United States. So why did it take the FBI 20 days to show up? So I started really thinking about this, thinking, well, could it be that CISA already knew it was a cyber attack? And those that are working in this expanding cyber agency inside the government already knew about it? And their bumbling friends over at the FBI are a little late to the party?
Welcome to the party, pal!
That's what immediately stood out to me. Again, here's Lara Logan explaining how her cyber sources in the Biden administration immediately were able to pin this as a cyber terror attack.
And here's the other thing that's concerned me. Why they run to the mic, had McCabe on this morning on at sunrise on CNN saying it's not terrorism, it's not terrorism, it's not terrorism. It might not be terrorism. But why do you come to the mic right away? These are the type, we need facts, we need empirical evidence, we need an investigation. What is your investigation telling you?
Well, I have a better question for you, Steve. Why are you coming to the mic telling the country that it's not terrorism when your own intelligence agencies are telling you it is? And I know they are, because I didn't make this up. These are not my words, right? I'm talking to people who are on the inside, some who are on active duty, some who are retired, and everyone, literally, from critical infrastructure in Department of Homeland Security to the intelligence agencies, they know there's no other, this is a cyber attack on a critical infrastructure corridor for the United States. This is, for those people who think this is just a river, this is in Baltimore, what does this matter? You don't know anything about what you're talking about. The I-94 corridor on the eastern seaboard is literally what connects the north and south. And when I talk about hazardous materials, right, this is a brilliant, well-planned strategic attack on one of the most important supply chains in the United States of America.
So that's interesting. On the very morning, she's able to speak to her cybersecurity experts in the Biden administration who work in cybersecurity in the Biden administration, who already knew that it was a cyber attack. So what's really going on here? Well, there are a few charges, of course, prosecutors could pursue if their investigation uncovers like criminal wrongdoing or neglect. Of course, most common charge, according to reports on this, maritime experts, is misconduct or neglect of ship officers, commonly referred to as seaman's manslaughter. The federal statute states that a ship's officer's inattention or negligence in their duty that results in the death of another is punishable by a fine and up to 10 years in prison. Remember, 6 people died as a result of this. 2 were cast into the water. One was then rescued. Another was also not hurt as a result of it. But 6 people died as a result of this. So this was a cyber attack. This was a terrorist attack.
Right.
And we shouldn't forget that.
And an economy was crippled because of it, which will have continued rippling effects.
Yeah, and major amounts of military equipment flow through that harbor on its way to Ukraine also. So this is not a small matter. And now we're hearing this FBI investigation. I just think it's interesting 20 days later. Unbelievable. Let us know your thoughts on this.
That's the thing. Like the timeline, it just really messes with me. Is 2 hours after the event happened, Biden comes out and says this was just an accident. It's not an attack.
Right.
And then 20 days later, they investigate. Like that's not how it works. That's backwards. You investigate, then you come out with the conclusion.
Right. And to Laura's point, their own cyber division is saying this was a cyber attack. And we know that this is a cyber attack. Why are they coming out to the microphone lying to the American people about it? Like, what are they hiding here?
Yeah.
There are other reports and there's speculation pointing to the Chinese Communist Party. But we don't have confirmation of that. But there's certainly people who is sophisticated enough to pull off a major infrastructure attack on the United States like this. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. YouTube thinks that you'll actually like this next video right here. It's personalized based on your own viewing habits. So if you watch the video, please leave a comment. Let us know what you think about it. And we will see you next time, everyone.